I'm scared to speak English. I'm afraid that others will make fun of me when I make mistakes. Have you ever had these thoughts? If so, you're not alone. Many language learners feel anxious when speaking English, fearing judgment or embarrassment. But here's the truth. Every fluent English speaker today was once a beginner. So, what is stopping you from improving your English? Are you making excuses, struggling with confidence, or simply unsure where to start? Let's break down the real reasons that hold people back and explore practical steps to help you become fluent in English. Why is English fluency important? Speaking fluent English is not easy, but it is one of the most valuable skills you can develop, both personally and professionally. Whether you need English for your studies, career, or daily life, mastering the language opens doors to better job opportunities, international travel, and meaningful conversations with people from around the world. Fortunately, learning English today is easier than ever. With mobile apps, online resources, conversation groups, and digital tools, you can practice anytime, anywhere. However, many learners struggle with motivation and consistency. Let's explore the most common excuses that prevent people from learning English and how to overcome them. 1. You don't apply English to real-life situations. Learning English isn't just about memorizing words, phrases, or grammar rules. It's about using the language in real-life situations. Many beginners make the mistake of focusing only on studying textbooks or completing exercises without practicing how to apply what they've learned. While reading and studying are important, they're only part of the process. To truly master English, you need to actively use it in your daily life. This means speaking, writing, listening, and thinking in English as much as possible. For example, if you've learned new vocabulary words, don't just write them down and forget about them. Try to incorporate them into your conversations. If you're learning how to order food in English, practice by imagining yourself in a restaurant and saying the phrases out loud. You can even role-play with a friend or language partner. The more you use the language in practical, real-world contexts, the more natural it will feel. One effective way to improve your vocabulary is by maintaining a personal dictionary or notebook where you write down new words and phrases you come across. However, simply collecting these words isn't enough. You need to actively use them in sentences or conversations. For instance, if you've learned the word delicious, try using it to describe your favorite food when speaking with someone. If you've learned the phrase, "How are you?" practice using it to greet people. This active application helps reinforce what you've learned and makes it easier to recall later. Another way to apply English to real-life situations is by immersing yourself in the language. Watch English movies or TV shows with subtitles and try to repeat the dialogues or understand the context. Listen to English songs and pay attention to the lyrics. When you're out and about, try to think in English. Describe what you see, hear, or feel using the words and phrases you've learned. For example, if you're at a park, think, "The trees are green," or "The children are playing." This helps you connect the language to your surroundings and experiences. Don't be afraid to make mistakes while practicing. Mistakes are a natural part of the learning process, and they help you identify areas for improvement. The more you use English in real-life situations, the more confident and fluent you'll become. Remember, The goal is not just to know English, but to use it effectively in your everyday life. So, take every opportunity to speak, write, and think in English. It's the best way to turn your learning into practical skills. 2. You don't spend enough time. One of the most common challenges people face when learning English, or any new skill, is finding enough time to dedicate to it. Many of us lead busy lives, juggling work, school, family, and other responsibilities. It's easy to say, "I don't have enough time," and use that as an excuse to delay or avoid learning. However, the truth is that learning English doesn't require hours of uninterrupted study every day. With the right approach, even small, consistent efforts can lead to significant progress over time. The good news is that modern technology has made learning English more accessible than ever. You no longer need to attend physical classes or spend money on expensive courses. There are countless resources available online and through mobile apps that allow you to learn English from the comfort of your home, at your own pace, and often for free. Whether you're a beginner, an intermediate learner, or an advanced learner, there's something out there for everyone. For example, apps like Duolingo, Babbel, or Memrise offer bite-sized lessons that you can complete in just a few minutes a day. Online platforms like YouTube host countless channels dedicated to teaching English, covering everything from basic vocabulary to advanced grammar. If you prefer more traditional methods, you can start with newspapers, books, or podcasts. Reading a short article in English every day, or listening to a podcast during your commute can help you improve your vocabulary, comprehension, and pronunciation. The key is to integrate English into your daily routine in a way that feels natural and manageable. For instance, instead of scrolling through social media, you could spend 10 minutes reading an English news article or watching a short educational video. The important thing is to set aside at least 20 to 30 minutes a day for focused English learning. This doesn't mean you have to sit down with a textbook for half an hour straight. You can break it up into smaller chunks throughout the day. For example, you could practice vocabulary for 10 minutes in the morning, listen to a podcast for 10 minutes during lunch, and review grammar for 10 minutes in the evening. The goal is to make your learning time effective and purposeful. Simply spending time without a clear focus won't yield the same results as targeted, intentional practice. Remember, consistency is more important than quantity. Even if you can only spare 20 minutes a day, doing so regularly will help you build momentum and make steady progress. Over time, those small daily efforts will add up, and you'll find yourself improving faster than you might expect. So, instead of saying, "I don't have time," ask yourself, "How can I make time?" With so many resources and tools available, there's no reason not to start today. 3. You lack a good plan to learn English. Learning English, or any new language, requires more than just enthusiasm. It demands a well-thought-out plan tailored to your specific needs and goals. Without a clear strategy, you may find yourself overwhelmed, unmotivated, or stuck in your progress. A good plan acts like a roadmap, guiding you step by step toward fluency. To begin, assess your current level of English proficiency. Are you a beginner who is just starting out, an intermediate learner who can hold basic conversations, or an advanced learner aiming to refine your skills? Understanding your level will help you identify the areas where you need the most improvement. For instance, if you struggle with speaking, your plan might include daily conversation practice with a language partner or tutor. If writing is your weak point, you could focus on writing short essays or journal entries and getting feedback from someone proficient in English. Struggling with grammar? Dedicate time to studying grammar rules and practicing through exercises. The key is to pinpoint your weaknesses and address them systematically. Additionally, don't hesitate to seek guidance from experienced tutors, trainers, or even online resources. They can provide valuable advice, tips, and structured lessons to help you improve faster. For example, if you're struggling with spoken English, a tutor might suggest techniques like shadowing, repeating sentences after a native speaker, or practicing common phrases used in everyday conversations. Proper guidance not only accelerates your learning, but also ensures you're on the right track. Remember, consistency is crucial. Break your learning into manageable chunks. Set daily or weekly goals, such as learning 10 new words, practicing pronunciation for 15 minutes, or completing a grammar exercise. Track your progress regularly and adjust your plan as needed. With a clear, personalized plan and the right support, you'll find yourself improving steadily and gaining confidence in your English skills. 4. You rely on your native language. Relying too much on your native language can significantly slow down your progress in learning English. If you constantly switch back to your first language or think in your native language and then translate into English, it becomes harder to develop fluency. Fluency means being able to speak, think, and respond in English naturally, without hesitation or translation. To achieve this, you need to immerse yourself in English as much as possible and reduce your dependence on your native language. One common mistake beginners make is trying to directly translate sentences or phrases from their native language into English. However, languages don't always follow the same patterns, grammar rules, or styles. For example, the sentence structure in English might be completely different from your native language, and certain expressions or idioms may not have direct equivalence. If you try to force your native language's structure onto English, your sentences may sound awkward or incorrect. Instead, focus on learning English as its own system, with its own rules and nuances. To break the habit of relying on your native language, try to think in English as much as possible. Start with simple thoughts like, "What will I eat for lunch?" or "I need to go to the store." Gradually, you can build up to more complex ideas. This practice helps you internalize the language and makes it easier to speak fluently without translating in your head. Another effective strategy is to surround yourself with English. Listen to English music, watch English movies or TV shows, and read books, articles, or blogs in English. The more you expose yourself to the language, the more familiar it will become. You'll start to pick up common phrases, sentence structures, and vocabulary naturally, which will help you think and speak in English more effortlessly. Practice is the most important part of improving your fluency. The more you use English, the more comfortable and confident you'll become. Speak English with friends, language partners, or even yourself. Write in English regularly, whether it's journaling, sending messages, or composing short stories. Don't worry about making mistakes. Every time you practice, you're getting closer to fluency. Remember, learning a language is a gradual process, and it takes time and effort. The key is to stay consistent and immerse yourself in English as much as possible. Over time, you'll find that you rely less on your native language and think more naturally in English. With regular practice and exposure, you'll see your fluency improve faster than you might expect. So take the leap and embrace English, and let go of the crutch of your native language. It's the best way to unlock your full potential. 5. You're afraid of making mistakes. Fear of making mistakes is one of the biggest barriers to learning a new language, especially for beginners. It's natural to feel self-conscious or embarrassed when you're not fluent, but letting that fear hold you back will only slow down your progress. The truth is, making mistakes is an essential part of the learning process. Every error you make is an opportunity to learn and improve. If you're too afraid to speak because you might say something wrong, you'll miss out on valuable practice that helps you grow. Think of it this way. When you were a child learning your native language, you didn't speak perfectly right away. You made plenty of mistakes, but over time, with practice and correction, you improved. The same principle applies to learning English. The more you speak, the more comfortable and confident you'll become. So instead of fearing mistakes, embrace them as stepping stones toward fluency. To overcome this fear, start by speaking with people who make you feel comfortable. For example, practice with friends or other non-native English speakers who are also learning the language. This can help you build confidence because they're likely to understand your struggles and won't judge you for making mistakes. Begin with simple, short sentences about everyday topics, like what you did that day, your favorite foods, or your hobbies. These conversations don't have to be perfect. They just need to help you get used to expressing yourself in English. Another effective way to build confidence is by talking to yourself in English. It might feel strange at first, but it's a great way to practice without the pressure of being judged. For example, describe what you're doing as you go about your day. I am making breakfast. I am walking to the store. I am reading a book. You can also practice introducing yourself or explaining your thoughts on a topic. This helps you get comfortable forming sentences and thinking in English. Remember, everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language, even native speakers. The key is to keep practicing and not let fear stop you. Over time, your confidence will grow and you'll find it easier to communicate. So, take a deep breath, start speaking, and don't worry about being perfect. The more you practice, the better you'll get. 6. You're not consistent in studying. Consistency is the key to success when learning a new language like English. It's not enough to study hard for a few days and then take a long break. Language learning is a gradual process that requires regular practice and exposure. If you're not consistent, you'll likely forget what you've learned and struggle to make progress. Think of it like exercising. If you only work out once a week, you won't see the same results as someone who exercises daily. The same principle applies to learning English. Small, regular efforts are far more effective than occasional, intense study sessions. One of the biggest challenges learners face is maintaining motivation. Motivation can come and go, and there will be days when you feel less enthusiastic about studying. However, consistency doesn't rely solely on motivation. It's about building habits and sticking to them, even when you don't feel like it. For example, set a specific time each day for English practice, whether it's 15 minutes in the morning or 30 minutes in the evening. Treat it like an important appointment that you can't miss. Over time, this routine will become a natural part of your day. To stay consistent, incorporate English into your daily life in practical ways. Do exercises like grammar drills and vocabulary quizzes, or listening comprehension activities every day. Speak English as often as possible, even if it's just a few sentences. For instance, you could describe your day in English, talk to a friend, or practice speaking aloud while doing chores. The more you use the language, the more it will become second nature. Another way to stay consistent is to set small, achievable goals. Instead of aiming to become fluent, break it down into smaller tasks, like learning 10 new words a week, mastering a specific grammar rule, or having a 5-minute conversation in English. Celebrate your progress along the way, no matter how small. This will keep you motivated and remind you that you're moving forward. Finally, make learning English enjoyable. Use resources that interest you, such as watching your favorite TV shows in English, listening to podcasts on topics you love, or reading books or articles that captivate you. When you enjoy the process, it's easier to stay consistent. Remember, consistency is about progress, not perfection. Even on days when you feel tired or unmotivated, doing a little bit is better than doing nothing at all. Over time, these small, consistent efforts will add up, and you'll see significant improvement in your English skills. So, make it a habit, keep practicing, and don't give up.